morning, sir.
How you doing, sir?
Can I ask you a couple of questions about your efforts to obtain surveillance from businesses? I heard you say that at times it has to be done in a timely manner. I think you adopted that statement when asked for you. Is that
That's
fair?
correct.
Can we just talk about your experiences with video surveillance from businesses for a moment?
Okay.
All right. Do they vary how long the images remain on the hard drive or in the cloud, depending upon the type of system that the business uses?
They do. It depends on the system. Some systems actually are just live feeds, so they're not actually recording. And other devices, of course, will hold it for maybe 1 or 2 days. So it all depends on the actual system and the storage that they have available.
Do you ever see some businesses hold it for more than 1 or 2 days?
Not often, but on occasion, yes. But again, it just depends on their system and the amount of storage that they have available.
Okay. If a surveillance video system holds it for 2 days, let's say, okay? So if it's today and tomorrow, well, let's do it this way. Yesterday and today.
Okay.
Okay? So if you run out today, you can get possibly yesterday's and today's is what I hear you saying. Is that?
More than likely, that's correct.
All right. Now let's say tomorrow comes, the 17th day of October 2024. Does the first day drop off and then you can get today and tomorrow? Is that how the systems work in your opinion?
In my opinion and in my experience, yes. So it will override the one that is the oldest. And so that means the next one should be available.
So it kind of just makes room. It purges the oldest, makes room for the newest, and however long it's being kept for.
In my experience, that's correct.
Of course. All right. I want to thank you so much. Oh, did you ever see one where it saves for 2 days, or it's preserved for 2 days, the images on the surveillance camera, and then at the end of that 2 days, it's just all gone, then another 2 days? Or is it always the purge?
In my experience, it just purge.
Okay. I want to thank you.
Thank you,
Your Honor.
All right, any other defense attorneys' questions? No. Any redirect?
Very brief, Your Honor.
All right.
Detective Griffin.
Yes, sir.
Cross-examination, you were asked about a prior incident involving Mr. Stillwell at the Green Store.
Yes, sir.
Did he ever talk to you about who was involved in shooting at him there?
I believe he gave a nickname, but I came to later discover who that might possibly be.
And did they have any connection with the individuals that you took out arrest warrants with in this case?
Initially, no, but the other individual that I believe was responsible.
Your Honor, can the jurors be reminded, unless you don't think so, about the same instruction?
Sure. So whatever's about to be said, if it came from Mr. Stillwell, and I don't know if it did or not, can only be considered as to Mr. Stillwell and as to count one.
You may continue, sir.
Yeah, I do want to correct myself. I don't want to insinuate that it came from Mr. Stillwell, but a nickname came up. The nickname, would you like me to provide the nickname?
You may.
The nickname that came.
It came from Mr. Stillwell. I have no objection, but if it came from another source, I believe that would be hearsay.
Your Honor, I understand. Let me ask you this. Do you remember when it was asked about running in, somebody ran into Mr. Stillwell at a nightclub and made a comment?
That's correct.
Where was that nightclub?
I think it's the Compound, if I'm not mistaken.
Who was it that made that comment to him? That he told you, that Mr. Stillwell told you?
He used the nickname of Stewie.
And was that Stewie a nickname that came up in this investigation?
Later on it did, yes, that's correct.
And what was, from your investigation, did that Stewie ever appear on any of this social media?
Yes, he did.
And was that individual, who were they associated with on social media?
The individuals that I pointed to earlier. So there's pictures with Mr. Kelvin Watts and Mr. Lewis.
And in your conversations with Mr. Stillwell, did If Gang ever get brought up?
Well, my conversation with him, no.
Did your investigation that ever come up?
Yes, my investigation, yes, it did.
And in relation to surveillance videos, have you had a lot of surveillance video systems that have came up in cases that you've worked?
Yes.
And on cross, you were asked about how they're saved or how long they are retained. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Is or do the surveillance systems and their retention policies that you've encountered in homicides you've worked, are they all the same, or are they different systems and policies?
Well, I want to reiterate, my scope is very limited in terms of my experience with dealing with camera systems. Just in the cases that I've worked, they all vary based on, depending on the actual system in place.
Thank you, Investigator Griffin. No further questions.
All right, thank you.
Any recross? All right. Thank you for your time, and you are excused.